My name is Habu Kale Tijjani. I'm a fellow Northeast Intellectual Entrepreneurship program. The Northeast Intellectual Entrepreneurship program is all about campaign against violent extremism through the use of social media. Sir, can you introduce yourself, please?
Yes, thank you very much. My name is Achileke. I'm a Cameroonian, and I work in Cameroon. I work in the space of promoting and countering violent extremism, and I've been working in this space for the past 9 years. And I also work as the global coordinator of the Cameroonian Peace Ambassadors Network, where based in London as well. So I share those places. And of course, I think talking about CVE is very, very interesting to me. And looking at the initiative which you're talking about, which I have a mastery of what it's all about. I think we're reflecting and we're talking about Nigeria and Cameroon facing the same problem, which is very peculiar. In the line of my work in the space of CVE, I focus a lot on how we use young people. Because you know, in these two countries, young people make up at least 60% of the population. And by youth, I'm talking about 50 to 35 in our context which we have. But you will see young people are the ones who, unfortunately, they have been trapped or been victimized to engage in some of the penetration of this act because of the socio-economic and political problems which we are facing, the poverty, exclusion, identity issues. But of course, there is a huge number of young people. I would tell you 80% of young people who are resilient, who are doing different things, who are happy, who are promoting peace initiatives. I think it's time for the world to talk about them. So that's the work which we're trying to do. And if the two governments, we are facing the same problem, we even have Chad, we have Niger, and I'm happy about the fact that there have been some moves in collective action.
A regional approach.
But the problem is, this youth perspective, they are missing the point. And they are still working in the confines of the counter-terrorism strategy, which is more of military force. But what we are looking at, and what your program, which you told me about, is all about, is using the soft skill, which is the CVE perspective. So, in my capacity as a young expert in this field, having worked for a long time and worked with other partners internationally and whatsoever, and influencing the policy, I would want to say that our government should move closer to the CVE perspective, which is more soft skill, working with civil society, working with young people, and trying to see how it has to be a collective action. So I think this is the first recommendation, which is very, very necessary for me to make and for governments to understand, and the relevant stakeholders to understand. Because now we have the UN Security Council Resolution on Peace and Security, which casts out young people as ambassadors of peace and what they talk about. So I'm very happy that in the course of your work, we are looking at promoting this message. We're in the era of seeing how we can stop this malaise which we have, using both the military tactics and using the soft skill and counter narratives and bringing new narratives and a lot of things. And entrepreneurship, social media is so inspiring in this space. So, looking at the whole concept of radicalization, it's very complex. Some will say it's elusive. That means there's no one definition. Some say this, some say that. But I want to remind us that we should understand the context. The way in which people are radicalized in ISIS, in Syria, in the Middle East is not almost the same way in Nigeria. They are different. The strategies are different. Why? Because they have their context. They have their difference in social and political organization. Even though you might say, Islam, that is not the basis. The basis is the context. The problem which people in the northeast of Nigeria are facing, that radicalizes them, that makes them to say, we want to use violence to achieve our goals. It is different from what we have with ISIS. There might be some similarities. The same in Cameroon. We have other things in Cameroon. Some people say in Cameroon, the political system is a problem, where we have, all these things are different. So it is time for us, if we want to provide solution, be it government, to understand that while we are coming in as a synergy, we should know that our contexts are different. We should be able to understand the reasons why people in our countries join these things, and try to see how we can counter and prevent it. Prevent it by trying to see how we can stop. One of the reasons why counter-terrorism has failed, or bombing has failed, because we have seen the case of Afghanistan and the rest. There was no ISIS before. We had Al-Qaeda, And what Akara was being criminalized, this was a message to us young people, to us civil society, to us governments, to us this thing is step further. Let's bring this approach where we need to bring dialogue on the table, where we need to bring provision of services to the table. We have to look at education, we have to look at poverty, we have to look at hunger, we have to look at social exclusion, all of these things. Before the rhetorics of religion comes into play, which is something which I don't really buy into, personally. Now, my experience within this space is because personally I grew up seeing violence. I saw violence all the time, I know what it means to hurt someone. So I understand the pitch which people from Boko feel, for example, people from the Northeast feel. And it's time for our governments to see how we do this collectively. It's very, very important. So I think this is my perspective within this space. And looking at social media as well, social media is very important, especially in the age of 21st century where everything happens on social media. You know, people connect on social media, people share propaganda on social media. I think it is time for us to use it positively. There has been a lot of misuse of the platform. Our peers use it wrongly, our fathers use it wrongly, our governments use it wrongly. People insult our governments on social media. Our governments don't have strategy to counter messages, to show that they are doing a good job on social media. Of course, that's where everything happens. Today we call the social media the people's court. In Nigeria, you see the senatorial system where there's issue of fraud and everything. It is because of the social media that we're able to find out about that. And these people, we are looking at how to try them. So we can still use the social media as a powerful agent to push positive message, new message, the resilience of young people. Through counter-narratives and new narratives. You know, even though people have arguments about counter-narratives and new narratives. But personally, I believe it works. We need to counter, we need to bring new narratives, we need to change perspective. Remember, this war we are fighting is an ideological war, where you call in military terms as a war. You don't know your enemy. So we need to target things beyond just uniform, beyond just people you see. We need to try to see how we start changing mindset. It is going to take some time, but every effort you put is in the process of changing things. And as young people, I'm happy to see you as a young person. I've had the pleasure to meet other young people. I lead through organizations globally. I feel the energy when I see a pair, when I see a brother, young person, taking initiative collectively as a team with other young people. And this is the inspiration behind it. And I think it's something which we have to promote, which we need to stand for. So, that's it.
Thank you so much. We usually say not another Nigerian.
Okay. I bet that Cameroonian.
Yes, not another Nigerian.
Not another Nigerian.
Not another Cameroonian.
Not another Cameroonian.